And ECMO, I talked about ECMO. If you're not familiar with it, I talked about it last year. Nobody ever thought we'd be doing ECMO in the field. Nobody even thought we'd be doing it in the emergency department. You know what was being done? For little premature infants who couldn't expand their lungs. Their sticky lungs were put on ECMO. They were put on suspended animation, and their blood was circulated through their body until they could get it controlled chemically. And when they fix that and normalize it, they turn the body back on. They circulate the clean blood back into the body. And so then Pittsburgh started doing it in the emergency department. And Dr. Arnato in Richmond started doing it in the emergency department. And last year when Dr. Arnato had his pulmonary embolism, he called and said, I'm dying from a pulmonary embolism, have the ECMO in the emergency department. And they thought he was crazy. ECMO saved his own life. So in France, what they're doing is, Marilyn Franchin is going to do the article for us, there is an ECMO ambulance, one only. And if a crew's running a code that they can't quite resuscitate, and they think it's because of the lung problems, they call that unit out, they do ECMO right on the street on a sterile field, and they save those patients' lives. They're only saving 2 out of 10, I think it is, but that's my mother or your mother, 2 out of 10. And this was Dre Dominguez, a paramedic. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but this is what she looked like when her lungs couldn't be ventilated. And she allowed us to show these photos. And they put the largest cannulation. Now that's a massive ECMO device. There is now an ECMO device this big. What's that tell you about technology, folks? Pittsburgh and University of Pennsylvania is sending it out in helicopters. They're going to be at EMS today talking about ECMO in the air. And then ECMO in the air is going to be ECMO on the street. And it's just artificially taking over the functions of the body. Look at the size of that tube into her vessel. And they didn't think she was going to survive without ECMO, and she wouldn't have. And so her blood is now being filtered and cleaned and corrected by the ECMO device. And there she is 1 year later, and she came and spoke at EMS today. Okay? That's a success story, and we're not going to let that die.